We were waiting on the kitchen cabinets, and the waiting started to feel overwhelming. So instead of spinning our wheels, we decided to finish one room. Finishing something felt more important than starting something new. I really like this room. We've bought a 1930s cottage to turn into a boutique Airbnb, and almost immediately we found problems we didn't plan for, from hidden surprises to budget-breaking repairs.
$884 plus tax.
This renovation is anything but easy. Follow along as we try to transform this historic house into a short-term rental that could change our lives. The last several weeks of hopping between projects has kind of started to take its toll. It's become mentally overwhelming, and while we're waiting on the cabinets, I think it makes sense to just focus on seeing one room completed. We have so far removed the hot water heater and installed the partition wall to create the bunk room. And we have a wall. Now it's time to get started priming the speed board. I bought the wrong color.
Hey, at least the prime doesn't look bad.
Well,
At least it's something other than white.
yeah, it covers the wood too. That's really what it's for. So the real paint will go further. Just like in the kitchen, I'm going to be using leftover paint. I'm going to be using a color called French Gray by Farrow Ball, but it's not gray at all. It's actually green. And I think I'm going to try to color drench this room. So from baseboard all the way over the ceiling, all the trim and moldings, I'm going to be painting this color. I really want to make this room super fun and atmospheric, and I hope this isn't a mistake. I was gonna do the baseboard right here, but because this is gonna be hidden by the bed, it's something that I can kind of do whenever, and I'm trying to use my time wisely, but right now, I'm annoyed at a year and a half ago me. I think I destroyed this paint can, opening it with screwdrivers and oh my God. Oh, took that up there. Holy moly. Well, it was sealed. I don't know what I just did, you guys. Any of it. So I have a couple gallons of this French Gray. This is the dead flat, and I'm gonna try to do, I think, all the woodwork in here in this. And then I have some of the estate emulsion, which is like their cheapest. It's not as durable, but I'll put it on the drywall, I think. Dadgummit. I'm not on it today, y'all. I guess I will. Start with all the woodwork because I did not drag a roller in here and I keep climbing over this thing like an idiot. I put the bed together. I got all this stuff in early and it took me days to put together. And there was days that I could not work on anything else yet. I was waiting on things and I'm glad I put it together because I got so much to do now, but I'm not gonna lie, it's a little bit annoying. My plan is to paint the ceiling in here and everything. I gotta get a paint roller. Why am I even using a brush? Oh. I can say the bunk bed is durable. Got it from Wayfair. The only thing about this beadboard is that when you paint with a roller, it just doesn't go down in there. You gotta go back with a brush. It's pretty aggravating. The Cave of Wonders. Hello, Dad.
Hello.
What's up?
Not much.
I'm not on it today. I'm not on my A game.
No A game.
No A game. I don't even know if I'm on a B game. I'm like a D game. Feel scattered. Oh no.
That's the most American thing I've ever done. Yeah, great, cool, yeah.
Uh-oh, name that channel. Whew, okay. I got around the bed done. The window, look at the glass. It's got everything off. Oh, I gotta get out of here. I'm stuck. I'm headed home for the night, and this is how I'm leaving it tonight. I am so tired, but I'm excited with how it's looking so far. I'm really excited to give this room some special touches, and I ordered these sconces online at Target. They came in a pack of 2, and I think if I can pick a spot, my husband is gonna hardwire them so there won't be any exposed cords or any way they can accidentally get pulled off the wall. He is here with me today, and I had to go through and make some decisions about things like that. If you've ever done a remodel, you might understand that those decisions seem a little bit overwhelming when you have them piled one right on top of the other. You really get decision fatigue, and it's a lot more tiring than it sounds like it is, especially when you combine it with all the manual labor that you're doing at the same time when you're doing all the work yourselves like we are. I think the most fun I had all day long was when Luke uncovered a couple more different wallpaper layers while he was hanging the sconces, and that was really, really fun to see the colors that were used. And it is crazy to think about how minimal things have become when 100 years ago people were using so much color and pattern and things had so much more personality. And I just really want to try to put that back into this house. We're gonna move that. Is that a leaf?
Probably.
I hate this game.
It's all under there.
It's so
It's all perfectly preserved by this drywall.
I'm moldy in here. Smells good. What is that?
What?
No. It's like, doesn't smell like pine, it smells like hardwood.
Oh, it fell into the wall.
Like hickory or smells like barbecue.
Flowers.
Oh. It's so good.
The house was cattails and flowers and
It was a lot, wasn't it? I had a theory yesterday.
yeah.
I think that the kitchen and the bathroom were in this, and that it had water damage. I bet the laundry, the kitchen, and the bath were all 3 right here in a row. And I bet the floors had water damage.
So it was a 2-bedroom, the bath, and it was over here. Oh, that makes sense.
Because I was like, if it had termites, though, and it just been in the back, like, what would have happened to the floor in the back? And then it hit me like, water from plumbing instead of, because I knew it didn't come from the ground, because it's not wet right here. One thing I have not discussed with you guys or addressed on this channel is the fact that the rear portion of this house from the floor down was reframed, and at some point the central HVAC was added, during which time a lot of the piers underneath the house were removed. And there are some places in this house that are definitely frightening when you walk on them, and that's going to have to be dealt with. We have a plan, but Luke's trying to help me get to a point where I can kind of go on my own on the interior of the house, and fortunately he's going to handle those things underneath the house because I have no desire to be under there. Every now and then I feel just the finest of green mist hitting my face, so if I look like a Marvin the Martian or something by the end of the day, just mind your own business. I was fiddling here last night and I got thinking like, snowball, I may just like finish this whole room, like, cause it's little and give me a sense of accomplishment.
Yeah.
Cause when I started thinking about everything I have to do, it's a lot of pieces.
I said, do run around and get it finished.
I'm gonna put this on the windows because it's better paint. You know, I watch all these shows where people redo these old houses. I mean, I've been watching them. Been forced fed them since I was a child, you know. And like, I don't know if it's just misleading, but it seems like a lot of places don't use storm windows like we do.
Why?
This is moderately tedious. I don't know the thing about this. That over there, that's just the 1/1, you know. If I got some of those metal straps you screw in for the handles on those tennis rackets, would that be like plumbing, electrical? What would that be?
Conduit straps?
Yeah, like the metal ones. There is one problem we have created by partitioning off half of this laundry utility room, and that is the fact that the vent for the HVAC that comes out in this room is going to end up being on the other side. Now, I've done a lot of research and I've tried to come up with some creative options. And, if you add another vent, it sometimes can cause problems with the whole system. And my biggest fear with this whole project is opening up any cans of worms. That's our biggest goal. We're not opening up any cans of worms and we don't want to cause problems. So I've done research into some independent heating units and I think I've come up with a really neat solution. My first thought was to add a mini split to this room because that's what we have in our other home. But in reality, this room is too small for a mini split. Even the smallest one I could buy would be overkill and it would be very uncomfortable in here. The product I ended up ordering came from Home Depot, but it is made by a company called Cadet, and it is the Cadet Soft Heat Hydronic Baseboard Heater. I'm just reading this from their website. I thought it was very interesting because I was very concerned about safety since this is a child's bedroom primarily. The Cadet Soft Heat Electric Hydronic Baseboard Heater. Unlike standard electric baseboard heaters, the soft heat baseboard element is enclosed inside a copper tube filled with mineral oil. The element heats the oil, which holds on to heat longer, giving you a more consistent, gentle warmth. I feel like I'm doing a commercial for them right now, but I can promise you that is not the case at all. I just went down a total rabbit hole when I found this product, and from somebody who has kids and pets and suffers with asthma, I found it super neat that this product existed and was so easy to use. We're pairing this with a wall thermostat that I purchased separately, and that way there's no risk of this room becoming too hot, like at night when the door is closed, because I just was very, very concerned about making sure that anybody that stays with us, but especially children, are always going to be very safe and very comfortable. I have finally got the room painted, and today we've had some things arrive so I can start doing some install. And I'm super excited to see a space that's going to seem completed and it's going to make me feel like there's a light at the end of the tunnel. think right there's fine. I'll like style it and have some hangers on it and it'll look like a custom little, oh my gosh. Thought it was up.
I was just making sure before I
Yeah,
I put it extended.
What kind of treasure did you find? On that little marble thing?
What kind of treasure?
These little things? Solid. More wallpapers. Sweet. Where do you find that? Where do you put these lights up?
There you go. It worked. You're welcome.
Now people can read.
Reeds. They don't want you to tighten it until it's together, so.
Okay.
If you notice there, those vintage tennis rackets in that basket, those are going to be hung on the wall. I did pick up some conduit straps and I painted them with a wall color. And if I recorded that, I cannot find it anywhere. But I went ahead and hung them on the wall. And if you notice, there's a new wall patch. That's because there was a receptacle that had to come out to make space for the baseboard heater. And we didn't really realize it was going to have to move. I'm so tickled with how these tennis rackets turned out. I really love this area. You enter in from this middle dining area and we have, well, I have color drenched this room, which is my first time ever doing any color drenching. I love this French gray color from Farrow Ball, and this is actually paint that I had left over from our remodel at our house. So this color is in my closet. It's also in our pantry. It's called French gray. It's really green, but it is a super neutral color. So let me step back so you can see a little bit better. I'll link this below, but this did come from IKEA with our order. I'm so excited I can't even talk. It did come with our order from IKEA the other day. I think that it just helps to make the room a little bit more functional so that you have somewhere to sit, you know, some shoes, maybe hang a purse, keys, and then hang a few clothes for somebody that's staying. It's not a closet, but it is something practical. You know, you could sit a suitcase up there and just kind of get it out of the floor and out of the way. The room, when we built that wall, we did cut it off from the central unit. So it is gonna have its own heating system. The patch that you see here had to dry yesterday. So I should get that painted today and that'll all be looking good. But there's gonna be a heater that goes here. It's a baseboard heater, but it is not a traditional electric baseboard heater. It's a hydronic baseboard heater from Cadet. I think it's called the Cadet Soft Heat. It has really, really good reviews. And most importantly, because this is gonna be kind of like a kid's room, I wanted it to be very, very safe. So there's no open heating element in there, meaning like you could stick, you know, like a kid, you know how kids are, stick something down in there. It's not gonna be a fire hazard. So it's gonna be really, really nice. In doing that though, it does supplement the heat for the rest of the house when the door's open, but I was concerned that when you shut the door, it would be too hot. So it does have its own thermostat, and me and Luke did run that wire yesterday to get this all set up, and he could have had that put in, but that patch just needed that I'm getting so tongue-tied. The patch just needed to dry. The desk here was from a family member, and it looks just like the desks that were at the North Elementary School down the road that I sat in when I was a kid. So I might could find out, but I'm pretty sure that's probably where they came from. Either way, I think it's just really, really cute. I need to get some kind of like, I think like I want to do maybe like a wall hung little toy box or something right there. And then I told y'all I was going to let you watch me hang these, and then I got behind yesterday. I got aggravated. Like, that's not why I didn't film, but once I was able to hang them, I just got excited and completely forgot that I had told y'all I was going to record when I hung these up. But I really wanted to make sure that these were secured on the wall. So got these brackets. Luke picked those up for me. I think they're for conduit. I painted them the wall color. I just got to touch these screws up, and that way they can't fall off on anybody's heads, and they won't get broken or become a weapon for an angry toddler. The bunk bed itself, I had wanted to do a custom built bunk bed, and in the interest of trying to rein things in, I purchased one from Wayfair. I'm happy with it, truly. I'm really happy with the quality. The mattresses came in. I do want to add a mattress pad because the waterproof covers that I got are just a little bit loose. So I think I'm going to add a mattress pad. And then I also want to get a bunkie board so that you don't see that tucked bedding on the top bunk. Because I know that, you know, there'll be, you know, young adults or teenagers. I do have room underneath here to do some kind of storage. It looks so dark on the camera, but it's not that creepy looking under there. Maybe like some, you know, pull out things with wheels. And I do want to have some toys in here. I got these sconces at Target. They are turned off currently. I can turn the overhead light on if I want to, but these are off because they're going to be connected to that heater. So they do have their own switches. They were a plug-in wall sconce, but I'm super blessed with a resourceful husband who converted them to be hardwired. I was concerned right there, so I thought about putting them on this wall, but I just was afraid of somebody kicking them, and then I thought about over the head, and same thing. Like, it's not just about them getting broken. Like, I don't want somebody to hurt themselves, so I decided I wanted them out here. And then in doing that, I was concerned about the cord, so Luke came to the rescue. And then I think this little stool here just is kind of precious for a makeshift nightstand. And I want to get the bedding on here, but we've got to get, this room should be completely done today. Like, completely done, which is a great sense of accomplishment. And it's kind of like a snowball. Like, it makes you feel, okay, with one exception, I've got to do the window treatments. But other than that, it'll be done. And that's just a nice feeling, like checking something off the box. This was a lot of pieces because the washer and dryer was in here. The hot water heater was in here. And that light switch over there had to be moved. So just a lot of pieces had to come together to make this room work, but I'm really happy. These sconces are sweet. This has got to be painted. I think it is ready for paint. But yeah, they have their own little switch, and the little shades came on them. They were a 2-pack. I think right now they're $60 for the 2-pack, but there was a sale. They had a sale on Target, like store brand items. These are a pillow fort. These are our kids. And I think I got them for like $43 for the 2 of them. So if you've bought any light fixtures, you'll know, God, they're so expensive. Why? And it's not just that you can't get cheap ones, but a light fixture, like a cheap light fixture, is obviously cheap. Speaking of light fixtures, the last thing is this white. It did have like a really, really simple white flush mount, and once I got the ceilings in here painted green, I just felt like they stuck out like a sore thumb, or the light did. So I think that blends in really well. I did add that to my IKEA cart, and it was inexpensive. Luke, however, did tell me it was obviously a cheap light. So note to self there. We did make it work for the kids' room, and I'm pleased with it. Once it's up, it's up. It's just the installation was a little bit questionable, maybe, because the way it was designed to go together, not a safety issue.
She's grounded.
This is like a very rudimentary system, isn't it?
Yep. Probably it has 2-year intervals.
And good reviews.
Looks like a heat probe. A hollow tube.
No.
Yeah.
The tiny wire.
This?
Yeah.
What's that? The tube. It's crimped on the end. Heats up, conducts. This is a switch.
I like it. I like that it's like a mechanical symbol. That was
It just heats this up. And these are like a radiator. And it's capped. You can see it's soldered. I need a bigger hole.
Come on.
Well, turn that thing on.
Now?
Yeah. All the way up. It says all the way up for 30 minutes. 90. Just working.
Oh, I feel it from here. Like subtly. This room's kind of,
Oh yeah, all the things that warm up something.
you know, they're supposed to be like crazy good for people with allergy and asthma. Allergies and asthmas.
Well, there you go. Oh yeah. Feel it now.
That's really cool. I never heard of such. Have you?
Not like that.
You know, I wanted radiators, and that's kind of how I found it. But I knew they had baseboard heaters, but I was trying to find some like a radiator, and I didn't know they actually made one here. Like when I found them, I was like, they're probably only in England. And then when I figured it out, I was like, oh, you're hired. I thought that this was a good idea on my part. I mean, I know you helped me execute as always, but like they're on there.
Yeah.
I only did that so they don't rotate at all, but still can't get them off the wall.
I think painting them was the right idea.
We've already had some pretty late nights here, and this is no exception. And at this point in the evening, we are getting a little bit delusional. So, Luke and I are just, we have the giggles. We're tired and we're laughing. I don't think I'm going to put the bunk bed link in the description, but if you want links to that or anything else you see that you're curious about, just comment below and I'll be happy to send them to you. The bunk bed I selected because it had really good reviews, first and foremost, and the ladder was wood and the slats were horizontal. So I didn't want anything that was round, and I wanted something with a high enough weight limit that an adult could sleep on there. I think it's a 250-pound weight limit for the upper bunk, and I really like how everything worked out in here. You can actually see a really neat view into the backyard from the top bunk, and it really feels like a little clubhouse, but it's not too whimsical or childlike that adults couldn't sleep in here comfortably. I really, really, really love it in here. I have ordered a couple different types of bedding, and this I actually got at H&M. I'm pretty happy with that. I've ordered bedding from there before, and it's always pretty good quality. I am doing all duvets in the bedrooms so that I can change them out between guests and just feel good that everything in here is very, very clean. But this room is so, so cute. I think it is my favorite room in the entire house. It's the only room that's done so far, but I just really love how cozy it is in here and comfortable and inviting. What in the world? This tiny hole. I gotta stuff that with that. That's his good luck.
Why is this door shut?
I'm cooking here. The look on your face. It's classic. As I mentioned before, it was a room already, so I'll show you that in just a second, but it did obviously already have a wall in there, and I think I kind of had an epiphany the other day. What you can see labeled on the breaker box that the receptacles in this room are labeled as bathroom. They do not turn off the bathroom receptacles, so I think that that was probably another bedroom. But yeah, I think the laundry or utility, kitchen and bath, so like all the plumbing was originally on the back of the house right here, and I think that's probably why that room had to be reframed. I think there was water damage from, you know, some kind of leak. The house could have probably sat empty, I guess, at some point in its past, and could have just had a frozen pipe to cause that. But yeah, so the wall we put up is basically putting a wall back that was there before. The ceilings on this back part are a little bit lower than the rest of the house, and I just don't want to put the bathroom back in there. I don't mind where it's at. I think it gives it a more historical vibe. But let me show you what we've got done so far. I'm really excited. I really, really like this room.